Check. Yeah, I was gonna get Chad in.
On a beautiful Wednesday evening towards the end of September, welcome to Grand River Raceway in scenic Elora, Ontario. Home tonight of the Prospect Series Finals right here on Cosa-Tv. As I mentioned, a pretty gorgeous evening. It's been a beautiful day. Now it's starting to cool off. Right now we are sitting around 15 degrees Celsius. That's 59 Fahrenheit, but great conditions overall. The track is fast, and we are set for a fun night of racing action. Welcome inside the grandstand here at Grand River Raceway. My name is Mark McKelvey. Pleased to be joined alongside by Shannon Sugar Doyle. And Sugar, the Prospect Series Finals here tonight. We're into this the first few years of this concept in the Ontario Sire Stakes, and it continues to gain momentum. And we got some good finals coming up here tonight. I know I'm really looking forward to it.
Myself as well. You know, the 2- and 3-year-olds doing their thing. Trotters, Pacers, Fillies, Colts, and Geldings. Very exciting action, fast track conditions. A beautiful evening for a horse race.
Exactly that. You're right. A little something for everybody. And we're glad that you're able to tune in tonight for, as we mentioned, what'll be a good night of racing action. In just a moment, we will tee up the races that'll be coming your way here tonight on Cosa-Tv. But it kicks off a busy stretch for us. Of course, we were at Mohawk just down the road on Saturday evening for the Mohawk Million. But now we get into our provincial championship season with the finals night for the Prospects. You've got the grassroots finals coming up on Saturday night, and then in a couple weeks' times it will be the super final. So lots to look forward to, and we want to hear from you on a night like tonight. And not only are we going to hear from you, we're going to give you an opportunity to maybe take home a prize. And all you have to do is to leave us a comment, no matter how you're watching, whether that's through Facebook, YouTube. Just leave a comment, and by doing so, you're going to be entered into a draw for a chance to take home one of those Ontario Sire Stakes sweatshirts. You can see James McDonald, the proud model there of the OSS,
looking
wearing
good.
that sweatshirt, looking very good. So there's your opportunity to take one of those home. So make sure that you do leave us a comment. We'll check in with you all night long. Now, of course, I'm at the desk. I've got Sugar to my left. Where's Greg Blanchard? Well, we've actually put him in the paddock here tonight. He's down doing the dirty work. Let's go to Greg, who's standing by trackside.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I'm in the paddock location tonight, nice and comfortable in here as well. And as you would expect, a very busy place on a night like this evening as well. Great program coming up tonight as we will honor our Prospect Series champions for 2023. We've got 5 races as part of the coverage tonight, races 6 through 10. The first 2 will be on the trot, the last 3 on the pace, including the 3-year-old colt and gelding pace, which will cap things off for us tonight in race number 10. So I'll be catching up with some of the connections before the races, as well as the new racing manager this season, Chad Rosema, familiar face to many across Ontario harness racing circles, and he's just wrapping up his first season in the new job. He'll tell us a bit about that, and of course the new track renovation, which is pretty exciting as well. A lot to get to tonight. We'll take our first commercial break, and we'll be back to set up the first of our Prospect Finals next.
The racing is fast and exciting at the picturesque Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park racetracks in Ontario, Canada. Woodbine Standardbred, home of the Pepsi North America Cup, a summer classic.
Pebble Beach in Iran.
And Woodbine Thoroughbred, home of the historic King's Plate.
But the mighty filly has devastated them.
Full fields, exotic wagers, iconic events. Play Woodbine Thoroughbred and Woodbine Standardbred today at your favorite wagering location.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine's new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online, offers the best online service available. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easily as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To view the sales schedule, create your account, or learn more, visit www.preferredequineonline.com or call our sales team at 914-773-7777.
And welcome back to Grand River Raceway here in Elora. Cosa-Tv coverage of the Prospect Series Finals, and we've got our first race coming up. That is the final for the 3-year-old trotting fillies, and the landscape of this one has certainly changed. A couple of really important scratches as you take out number 2, Champagne Bettina, and number 3, San Ambrosio. The 3 was actually my top pick in this spot. So we're going to go down now to a field of 6, so some opportunity for others to step up and try and take home a good chunk of these $15,000 finals. On paper before the scratches, Sugar, I thought this was a really competitive race.
It was shaping up to be a great looking field of 8 here on the trot for the 3-year-old fillies Prospect Series Final. Shortened up field of 6 might tend to favor a closer in here that I'm kind of liking.
Okay, well, the kind of tip in your hand right there. One of those horses, and maybe it is that closer, is April Duford, who now has a big opportunity with the couple of scratches that we see, and I know is taking a lot of early money, already at odds of 2 to 5. A winner in the most recent. We want to go back and take a look at that effort. It came out at Flamborough Downs back on September 17th, and it was a rallying effort here. Tyler Borth, and you can see them sitting there fourth, moving up the backstretch, and Sugar, a strong effort here, stopping the clock in 2 minutes and 4/5.
Yeah, this is a nice homebred filly for the Dufords, daughter of Ilsogno Dream. See, they got her inside knee taped up there, so she might get a little bit close, but you know what? When she minds her manners, she looks great coming off a helmet.
She's now a 6-time winner. This was her 6th victory of the season. Did not race at 2, and this will be start number 23 here tonight. A few of these in here that have got quite a few starts under their belt. She is the second most in the group, but reaches up with the victory, and you always love seeing horses that are coming in off a score, especially at the level that they'll be competing at here tonight. Let's take a look at the point leaders this season in this Prospect Series division for 3-year-old filly trotters right there. And, of course, you have to get to the end of the season. That's one of the big things to check out there. But you see April Duford came in 5th in the standings at 120 points. Well, as Greg Blanchard mentioned off the top, he's going to be catching up with several guests throughout the evening. But we're going to kick things off with the racing manager here at Grand River Raceway, that being Chad Rosema. A little different seeing Chad on the other side of the equation this season. I've sat beside him many times on shows like these, but they've had a wonderful year. It's closing night at Grand River, so let's catch up with Chad as he's standing by with Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Mark, and exactly right. We were used to seeing Chad for many years on this side of the camera, so he's certainly not one to shy away from coming on and joining us and chatting a little bit tonight. Chad, great to see you again, and just want to ask you, what's the first season been like for you? Brand new role as the GM here at Grand River Raceway, and finishing up tonight what's been a very successful season.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Greg. Glad to have you guys in the Cosa-Tv crew here tonight. It's been a great season. I mean, I wanted to jump into the foray of racetrack management, as you did years ago, and I think it's been a success. I've had a great time. You're never too old or young to learn, and there's been lots to learn, still learning, but just having a great season. It's been a blur. It was a little slow waiting to get to the start of the season, but once it got here, I can't believe we're on our closing day already. And talk about success. We've had so many great highlights here. We've had a lot of track records. Desperate Man and 50-1 not too long ago. That's a record that'll stand forever now with the half-mile track obviously complete after tonight. But the handle and the support we're getting from our fan base as it continues to grow. We've got shown great growth this year. We've set an all-time record in the 20-year history of Grand River. Coming into tonight, just shy of $13.5 million, and we should tack on a pretty good number tonight.
Yeah, it seems like a nice crowd here again tonight, and a great vibe that you've had going on all season long. You talk about the year and coming in, and you know, everything's gone really well. Is there something that surprised you about the role, or anything that was a major challenge that you maybe hadn't anticipated before you took on the role?
Probably just from, a standpoint of, you think things are going to run smoothly here, and then all of a sudden you get a call because there's lights out somewhere or something. You know what I mean? Little things you didn't necessarily think of, and you get called on for a lot. But you know what? We've got such a great team here, Greg. Everybody's been fantastic. Everybody's been willing to, lend a hand, teach, help out, and, all the horse people too. Great seeing them. So everything for me has gone smooth. Most nights have been pretty much just kind of a breeze, to be honest with you.
And you touched on it briefly, and I have to ask you, very exciting news here as you're going to be expanding to a 5/8 mile oval tonight, the final night in the history of this track as a half-mile oval. And you've already broken ground, and you're well underway in that project. How's that been going?
Yeah, I mean, they started moving ground here on August the 14th, and I mean, we're only, a month and a half from that, and if you come here to Grand River, if you've been here and you've seen it, there's a huge pile of dirt out in the neighboring field. They have moved a ton of earth. They've got the new backstretch, the new far turn, all moved. They're just kind of compacting that, some drainage going in. They've done pretty much what they can do until we wrap things up. So obviously tonight we wrap up. There'll be some things done over the next couple of days, and then early next week they start moving the track and digging that up and getting set for the new 5/8s, plus the new LED lighting from Musco Lighting. But, Thum Construction and GM Blue Plan and the Kuhn brothers, all the team that have been behind that, our own facilities manager and Doug McKeag. It's great. The excitement I'm hearing from everybody is an overwhelming just kind of anticipation for the new track next year.
Well, congratulations. Great way to cap off your first season, and so much excitement to look forward to next year. Before we wrap up, anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight?
You know what? It's funny you ask that, Greg, because all season I've been wanting to shout out Amy and Kim, who are tuning in from London. They are loyal viewers of Cosa-Tv. Shout out to them.
All right. Congratulations. And I echo that sentiment. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Greg, and great to hear from Chad. It's been a wonderful season here at Grand River Raceway. It comes to an end, and Sugar, I hadn't even thought about the fact that this is it. Not going to see half-mile racing here anymore. Who's ever in the record books after tonight will stand forever.
It's amazing, as Chad mentioned there. Desperate Man, 150-1 here not long ago. Just an incredible mile for that one, and it'll go down to the history books indeed. Nothing else is going to pace in 50-1 here on this half-miler.
And it'll be really unique to see another 5/8 mile oval in the province, and especially for races like the Battle of Waterloo, Battle of the Bells.
Right.
They're really going to take on new life come next season. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we have the post parade for race number 6.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
And welcome back to Cosa-Tv's coverage of the 2023 Prospect Series Finals. Our first race of coverage is coming up in just a moment. That is the final for the 3-year-old trotting fillies. Horses are just exiting the paddock right now, and we will have the post parade in a moment. You can see the flags starting to move a little less than they were earlier in the evening. It was the wind earlier that I thought was kind of making things feel a lot cooler than it was. Of course, throughout the night, though, Sugar, at this time of the year, it can drop off pretty quick.
It can too. When I walked in this evening, I was feeling pretty good with the temperature, but it cooled off quickly with that wind going.
It certainly did, but we're nice and warm inside the grandstand here up in the captain's quarters. Let's meet the field for the Prospect Series final for 3-year-old trotting fillies. At number 1, it's Sally Deal. Garrett Rooney in the sulky for Jack Ray. 2 wins in 13 starts, 5 runner-up in total, 9 top 3 finishes, and has a good opportunity with that rail starting spot here tonight. Of course, numbers 2 and 3 are scratched.
All right, and here's a look at number 4, Savannah's Dream. Bruce Richardson co-owns, trains, drives with ownership going to Joe Coffey and Jay Irwin as well. This one has lots of experience this season, 24 outings, just shy of 40,000 earned on the year.
We just saw the 5 April Duford coming in off that victory. 6 wins in 22 starts, goes for the Dufords with Tyler Borth in the sulky.
6, Divine Magic there. Travis Cullen for Keith Jones. And just a one-time winner this season. Upset potential.
Jeffrey O'Brien owns, trains, and drives the 7 Pajamas Optional, who probably wasn't too happy with the draw, just like the 8 wasn't when it came out originally, but they get to move in a couple of spots. Here's one that's a one-time winner, but does have 6 runner-up finishes, 5 thirds, so all over it, and comes in with 4 consecutive second-place efforts.
Right on, sitting on a win possibly. The 8, Angelic KT, second best at a big price. Last time out, Brett McDonald gets the call for John Holding this evening.
All right, so there was the field for our first final that we're bringing your way on Cosa-Tv. We've had a few finals already, and we'll talk about that as the night rolls on. But these 3-year-old trotting fillies now will get set. They'll be going to the gate in just a few minutes' time. 1-2 right now in the 5 April Duford. But before we talk about this horse exactly, I want to talk about the driver, that being Tyler Borth. And Sugar, you had the opportunity to watch Tyler over the years, continuing to hone his craft and rise towards the top in the country when it came to wins. Now he's made that move over to the Woodbine circuit. He's having a tremendous season. I have to think just on a personal level, you have to be proud to see the success he's having.
Very happy for Tyler. You know, he picked up the Rising Star Award for the O'Brien a few years ago. The next season after that, a little bit of a struggle, but you know what? He's come right around. And, you know, I looked at the entries for Monday at the Western Fair on the return to racing there. No Tyler Borth that evening because you know where he's going to be, Woodbine Mohawk Park, where he's been rocking it.
He has. And we saw him on Saturday night have a drive in the She's a Great Lady final. Just getting his foot in the door there when it comes to the Grand Circuit, and you love to see that because there are some drivers, when they break in at Woodbine, yeah, they're getting some work, but then when stakes season rolls around, that work really drops off. For Tyler, that wasn't the case. He's had a really good run, and he's also been a workhorse. I mean, on the off days, whether that be Wednesdays or Sundays from Mohawk, feels like he's going across the province, and just seems to me he's very motivated.
He's a grinder, and he does not mind the hard work at all. Hard-working fellow, Tyler Borth, and, you know, good hunter, too. This is hunting season, I believe, or close to it, and he'll get even busier here in the days and weeks ahead, I'm sure.
I'm sure he'll squeeze some of that in. He's in a battle with James McDonald for the dash title in the country. I really like his chances to take that home. He'll stay busy. He'll stay active each and every racing day. Now, we've talked about April Duford, 1-2 right now, a deserving favorite. The next door neighbor, Savannah's Dream, Bruce Richardson, always does very well each and every season. High percentage trainer when you look at his numbers as well. Trains and drives here. Already had a win on the card. What do we make of Savannah's Dream's chances in here?
You know what? She looked a bit erratic last time out. The program line does anyway. A few breaks in there. You can toss that one. The trip before that over Woodbine Mohawk Park, maybe tough company there, but she's got 2 straight wins on the front end before those outings. So she wants to be on the lead where she likes to be.
So I always like to look at the rail starter when we're on a half-mile track and to see what they might be able to do. And when I look at It's Sally Deal, I have seen some speed in the past, but last time out made a break just after the start. Do you wonder at all if Garrett Rooney's going to have to be a little cautious in the early going, or with the money on the line tonight, do you fire your shot trying to take advantage of that starting spot?
You know what? Garrett Rooney's got a great set of hands, whether it's on a pacer or a trotter. I've called him the upset specialist in London many a time. Would not be an upset here to get there with It's Sally Deal. Just a rare break last time out from that one, but she reset quickly. Still a decent fifth in 2:02, and look for improvement there from that rail starter from Team Ray.
And again, as we mentioned, you've got those 2 scratches of the 2 and the 3, who I expected both to figure prominently, especially in the early stages of this race. So it shakes things up a bit, and it opens the door for some of the others. We've talked about a few in this group. I do want to talk about number 7, Pajamas Optional. Talk about being the bridesmaid a ton. This is a filly that she knows how to finish second. 1 win from 17 tries. Can tonight maybe be the night she breaks through?
You know what? Regardless of what horse, what driver, what trainer, when I see a horse with 4 runner-up finishes in a row, I'm normally going to say, sitting on a win possibly.
Yeah, definitely. You could see that, and maybe tonight will be the night. $15,000 is the purse for this Prospect Series final. Sugar, before we go up to track announcer Gary Guy, who's your pick in here?
I got to stick with the 5 April Duford. Follow a helmet, close strong home.
As I mentioned, my top pick is Scratch, so I'm going to shake it up. Let's try It's Sally Deal from the rail for Garrett Rooney. We're set to go for race number 6, 3-year-old trotting filly final. We'll go up to the voice of Grand River Raceway, Gary Guy.
Field for the 6th race is into the stretch drive, approaching the start. And the field for the 6th race is at the start of the rough. And Savannah's Dream is going to blast out. It's Sally Deal on the inside. April Duford. Then it's Divine Magic. And back to Pajamas Optional Angelic KT. Right now, Savannah's Dream is trying to come on and grab the lead from It's Sally Deal. Savannah's Dream. It's Sally Deal. April Duford is racing position 3rd. Then Divine Magic. And April Duford's going to quickly pop out. It's Sally Deal went off stride. Savannah's Dream is able to grab the lead. April Duford now inherits 2nd, Divine Magic 3rd, then Pajamas Optional Angelic KT. It's Sally Deal is trailing the field. Savannah's Dream at 7-2 has the lead for Bruce Richardson, but April Duford and Tyler Borth, the 2-5 favorite, is right there in the pocket. Then Divine Magic is racing on the inside 3rd. Pajamas Optional is positioned to 4th, and 5th is Angelic KT, and then it's Sally Deal has recovered from a break but is now trailing the field. They come up to the half. Savannah's Dream as they roll on past the half, and it is Savannah's Dream. Divine Magic on the outside now is coming to call quickly. Divine Magic and Travis Cullen looking to pull the upset as they race their way on into the backstretch. Divine Magic forcing the issue over Savannah's Dream. Then Pajamas Optional on the outside is 3rd, and April Duford is locked on the inside 4th right now, and now Divine Magic at 19-1 has come on to grab a lead of about 2 or 3. Pajamas Optional is chasing on the outside. Savannah's Dream on the inside. April Duford is getting urging but doesn't seem to have it. And then scooting through to the inside, Angelic KT, and it's Sally Deal. Divine Magic leads right now by 3. Then Savannah's Dream, Pajamas Optional, and then April Duford now is kicking in, and April Duford is flying but has a lot of work to do. Divine Magic and April Duford. Divine Magic trying to come on down the finish, and Divine Magic, but here comes April Duford flying. Divine Magic, though, is trying to hold on. Divine Magic beat a flying April Duford at the finish. Angelic KT was 3rd, Pajamas Optional 4th, 201 and 3.
Well, that move to the lead by Travis Cullen ends up being the winning move, but was certainly hoping that the wire would come very quickly as April Duford was flying on the outside. It's Divine Magic here. A little bumpy in the lane, Sugar, but holds on.
Credit Travis Cullen. I mean, still chasing up here towards the finish, but keeping Divine Magic together. And you got to get through that line. When you get a horse next door, you got to be going through the line clean gated.
Yeah, no kidding. And especially when you look back at the way this race unfolded, not exactly how I would have drew it up.
No.
And for a moment there going to 3/4, it looked like April Duford just didn't have it here tonight. But you called it to me as we were watching the race. She's able to kind of gut it out, and she came rallying on the end.
She did. She raced well, you know, going into that final turn. It looked like it might be a tough spot to grab a big piece of it, but she's right next to the winner at the finish line. Take nothing away from April Duford. Tyler Borth got her up, just ran at a time and tracked.
And you see it, especially coming off the turn here. Whenever you're 3 deep, you're wide off that turn. You got to cover a lot of extra ground, and it ends up probably being the difference, as it turns out, as she comes up about half a length short to Divine Magic, who takes our first final tonight on Cosa-Tv. You talk about drivers that have success at Woodbine Mohawk Park. How about Travis Cullen? Obviously, the Cullen operation. It's a beast in this province. You know, they've got quite a good machine going there, a well-oiled machine, but he's also got some great hands on him, doesn't he?
Does too. You know what? Travis Cullen, I know him well from Alberta, called him a winner many a time as TC. He was ripping it up there real good through Alberta for a long time. But the move over to Ontario, which could be tough for some coming in from the west, but Travis and his family, they fit right in here. Always in the hunt here at the racing action at the tracks of Ontario.
Big smiles there for Travis. Winning trainer Keith Jones as Divine Magic picks up her 2nd win of the season. She was 2 for 9 as a rookie. Came in tonight just 1 for 17. That lone victory came in early July in a maiden at Kawartha Downs, so really picked the right time to get her 2nd victory as she steps up with the upset victory, went off at odds of 19-1, and takes this year's Prospect Series final for 3-year-old trotting fillies.
And you know, that's a heck of a price on a horse to start a mandatory payout pick 5, right?
You're right about that. We probably failed to mention that, but the pick 5 kicked off here, and you're right, it's closing night, so it's got to go.
Yeah.
Be very interesting to see what happens with that. Let's go down to the winner's circle, catch up with winning driver Travis Cullen.
First of all, I give a shout out to my former boss, Phil Neufeld, owns part of this horse, Divine Magic. Congrats to Phil. He's probably going to give me a hard time. I didn't pick her anywhere tonight, but hey, c'est la vie. But I think that, a big part of that victory, Travis, was your drive. You made a rocket move to the lead there, and was the goal just to get there and try to get as much daylight as you could?
Yeah, I felt like Bruce's horse was kind of struggling a little bit there. Not trotting, but just didn't really want to go. So I thought I would take a shot, and it worked out.
And you drove that horse, quite a few times leading up to that effort. Is it something, like you're kind of thinking going into the night that you might want to try that move with her, or was it just situational?
No, just kind of where I was sitting, I felt like I had to try it, and it worked out. We got lucky.
And was there any kind of worry there? I mean, I saw at the top of the turn there, she put in some funky steps, and she's been a horse that's made breaks in the past. And did you think you had enough daylight over April Duford?
I knew Tyler was coming hard, and I was just hoping she was going to keep trotting. She just gets in a little bit in the turn, and she was struggling there for a couple strides. But once I got her straightened out, she was good.
All right, well, congrats again, Travis. In for 2 victories now. Travis Cullen, this time aboard Divine Magic in the OSS Prospect Series Final.
All right, good to hear from Travis Cullen. He's having a strong night at the office so far. He gets Divine Magic up for the victories. We'll take a look at the payouts in just a moment, but it's going to be some nice returns here up on the board, Sugar, and just kind of how we like it. Maybe we didn't pick the winners here, but maybe it sets the tone that we might have to look for as those upset players as the night rolls on.
You know what? There was a race or two later on that I figured wide open, but you know what? After that first turn break of one hit Sally Deal, the complexion changed immediately.
It definitely did, and with those scratches as well, really just changed the entire landscape before they even hit the track. And just like trotting fillies, you never know what to expect. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll check out the payouts from race number 6 and get you set for our next final. It's the Prospect Series Finals here tonight on Cosa-Tv.
Anywhere, it's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming, and your first bet is on us. Go to hpibet.com to join for free today.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Danson Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
And welcome back to Grand River Raceway as Cosa-TV's coverage of the 2023 Prospect Series Finals rolls on. Mark McKelvey, joined by Shannon Sugar Doyle. And then, of course, we've also got Greg Blanchard standing by in the paddock. We'll go down to Greg periodically throughout the night. He'll have some special guests. And we were talking about it in the opening of the show, the fact that this is the final night on the half-mile oval here at Grand River Raceway before it becomes a 5/8, and we've heard from a few of you in the comments just kind of reminiscing about some of the memories that have happened over the years here at Grand River Raceway. It will be a new era when their next season opens up in 2024, but during the time out there, Sugar, I was just looking back at some of the horses that have set track records here, just on the trotting side alone. The 2-year-old records, Forbidden Trade, Adair Castle. I mean, the 3-year-old record this year, Ghostly Casper set one. You go to the older horses dealing with Dewey. I mean, there have been some really top-notch horses race here over the years, not to mention on the pacing side, Desperate Man, who's a Pepsi North America Cup winner, Stag Party, a 2-year-old record here. It's a fast oval, and it's one that has been graced by a lot of top horses over the years.
Most certainly is. See, I worked the winter track through the half-miler here during the winter. Through the summer, I've been down on Industry Days, and they fly here on Industry Day.
Yeah, they definitely do. Let's take a look at the payouts from race number 6 here tonight at Grand River Raceway. We mentioned it was an upset. Divine Magic returns $40 to win. And if you're able to hit this exacta, I mean, we all thought April Duford might be the top choice in there, went off as the favorite, comes up just short. Finishes second, Divine Magic, April Duford at 6'5 exacta, $86.40. And as we mentioned, it kicked off the late pick 5, which has a mandatory payout tonight. And we'll take a look at those numbers in just a moment, but you'd have to think a pretty good pool and probably saw a lot of that money come out with that upset winner. And we'll have to see if that does continue. So, Sugar, we're getting set for our next final. We're going to move on to race number 7 in just a moment as we are 5 minutes away up on the board. And now we're going to go over to the 3-year-old Colton Gelding trotter. So we'll stay on the trot here. Let's bring up the field, and we have a heavy favorite in number 4, Impressive Dude. Louis Waugh competing here tonight, and what stands out to me is, you're seeing a lot of different drivers. For some, it's their own horses they're driving here tonight. For Louis Waugh, that's the case. That's what's bringing him here. One of the nation's best. He co-owns this 3-year-old colt, the son of my MVP, and they've been having a really good run as of late.
Yeah, I've gone back and watched a few replays with Impressive Dude, and you know what? He seems to do well when he doesn't have to get used up in the early going. So if Louis can find a spot up close or on the lead without a whole lot of stress in the early going, could be very tough.
So you saw the field there. We do have a scratch once again. It's number 1, Sunglasses at Night. He will come out of this race, which again opens up a rail starting spot now for the 2 leading Resolve. Everybody's going to slide in a spot. The trailer will stay in the second tier. So speaking of replays and speaking of Impressive Dude, why don't we go back to a victory at Kawartha Downs in his most recent effort, and it was an impressive score by 5.5 lengths, and we can let the visuals do the talking here, but a big-time effort, as you mentioned, in recent weeks for this guy. Sam Fillion was in the bike on this occasion.
Yeah, looked to make front and unstressed to do so, down to a half in 59-2. Big back half over the 5/8 at Kawartha of 58-3, just a drawing away winner. Gets away from them, and they just couldn't make it up on this Colt son of my MVP. Just shy of $40,000 earned on the season, one of the higher earners in the field.
So you see him turning in an impressive victory on this night at Kawartha Downs, winning by 5.5 and 158 flat. Just based on what he's been doing in recent weeks, a mile like that, it's going to be awfully tough to knock him off here. No surprise to see him taking a lot of support, but it's his next door neighbor, the 3 Ace 44 Elvis, who has caught my attention again just for his consistency in picking up checks and being right there. And again, the Tyler Borth angle is one that I'm certainly going to be riding tonight.
That's right. He's another early speed threat as well as the 4 Ace 44 Elvis. Know him well from London. Pretty honest trotter. If he can make front without a tussle, he could be very tough to take down. Borth on the lead, very tough at any track in Ontario.
Let's take a look at the point leaders in this 3-year-old Colton Gelding Trot division for the 2023 Prospect Series regular season, and it was Ace 44 Elvis that did lead the charge with 198 points. Warwi Yuri was the runner-up at 158 points. Impressive Dude had 99, but again, these points, all they did was secure your spot in the final, not necessarily indicative of how the horse is racing coming into the final, because we know how good Impressive Dude has been with 3 wins in his last 4 outings. But a horse that racked up a ton of points is Warwi Yuri, and he is driven and trained by Mario Bayarjan, and a little bit earlier, Greg Blanchard had the opportunity to catch up with Mario, and just being told by the guys, we'll get to that in a moment, but Mario Bayarjan, talk about the transition, one of the nation's top catch drivers, and now he has moved over, has a good partnership going with the stable, making the most of it, and they've had a nice run with this horse.
Yeah, veteran Mario, always good with trotters or pacers, and this one's just been off a little bit in his last couple of outings, but does show that he can go with these, can handle these.
Well, maybe we can find out from Mario just what has been going on in recent weeks for Warwi Yuri. As we've got it now, Greg is standing by with the man they call Super Mario.
All right, coming up to race number 7 tonight, Prospect Series final for 3-year-old Colton Gelding trotters. Warwi Yuri's going to leave here from post number 5 now with a scratch inside. Mario, this is one that you put a couple of wins together with recently. The last couple, though, haven't been as good a result. What's been the difference?
Well, he raced in Leamington, and he didn't like the track there. So, and last week I thought, he didn't agree with Kawartha Down either. But he's raced here before, and he won here in 2-1. So, like Louis' horse is going to be tough to beat in there. But, if you race like he did the last time he raced here, he should be a good second.
Any kind of game plan with him going into the race?
We'll see behind the gate what's going on. I'll take a look left, and, I'd like to get behind Louis if I can, but we'll see behind the gate.
Now, Mario, over the course of your career, you were one of the premier catch drivers for many years in the States, and then when you came here to Canada, one of the top drivers on the WAG circuit as well. Recently, though, you've transitioned to more of, the training driving and slowing that down a little bit. What's that transition been like for you?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I work with young horses. That is something that I always like to do. And Anthony and Amy have been real good to me. I've been there for 5 years now. And I work with babies and drive a few in the summer and shut it down for the winter.
Well, listen, thanks for joining us. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Greg, and good to hear from Mario Bayarjan as we'll see if Warwi Yuri can come through for the stable.ca. And got to throw in a cheap plug. Myself and some of the Cujo Entertainment crew will be heading down to Lexington next week. We'll have some special live shows from the Lexington Selected Yearling Sale covering all the activities of the stable.ca. But let's meet the field here for this Prospect Series final. Number 1 is out, so number 2 is Leading Resolve, Bruce Richardson for John Holding. 4th in the most recent effort. Very familiar with this track at Grand River. 1 win from 25 tries.
Number 3, Ace 44 Elvis, 7-time winner this season for trainer Mike Timpano. Totterborth on the lines.
Louis Waugh co-owns and drives the 4 Impressive Dude, and we have talked about how impressive he's been. 3 wins in his last 4, 5 overall in the campaign.
Big long shot, post 5, Electro long leg. Steve Byron on for Gino Cicero.
We just heard from Mario Bayarjan. Here he is on the track with Warwi Yuri, one of the top point earners this season in the Prospects. 4 for 12 with a mark of 2 minutes taken at Hiawatha Horse Park.
Trying to find the winning form again. Number 7, Hamilton DeVee. Brett Lester training. Travis Henry aboard.
Number 8 will be Fox Valley, Ontario. It's Garrett Rooney driving for Randy Fulmer. Scratched in the most recent, but if you go back 3, did have a win here at the Prospect Series level.
On from the trailing spot, number 9, Dealant Double, Ryan Durage on for owner-trainer Mark McCormick. Tossed the latest with the break in the late going.
All right, so there is the field. Again, we have a scratch of number 1, Sunglasses is Night. So everybody from posts 2 through 8 now slide down a spot. The 9, Dealant Double, will still stay in that second tier. And a horse I want to take a quick look at right now is number 7, Hamilton DeVee. And this is one that last time out raced in the non-winners at 2 at Woodbine Mohawk Park, which I think maybe speaks volumes to what the connections have thought of this one. Now moves into the barn of trainer Brett Lester, going from the Kyle Fellows barn over to Brett Lester, who coming into tonight was in the hunt to win the training title for this season. I think you have to take notice here.
Got to take a big look at number 7, Hamilton DeVee, on that trainer change. Brett Lester, first time Brett Lester at any track in Ontario, has been a solid play all season long. Travis Henry, outside looking in, just has to mind the manners in here.
And this horse did win 2 back right here at Grand River on August 16th, and it was Travis Henry that was in the sulky on that occasion, and very familiar with this guy. He's driven him before, so I like the angle here, maybe as an upset play. 18-1 is the price. Moves into post position number 6. Sugar, I'll open the door here, going up and down this field. Who do you may want to take a closer look at in this group?
You know what? Ace 44 Elvis, the 3. Right now, it's a pretty good price at 7-1. You heard Mario hoping to follow up behind Louis. Well, Totterborth, not going to waste any horse in the early going here, but he'll find a spot up close with Ace 44 Elvis. Mario might be sitting behind Totterborth in this one versus Waugh.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one shakes out in the early stages, just to see what the positioning is like. And it's always interesting to hear drivers maybe tip their hand a bit with what their strategy is, and we'll see if it does play out that way. I think Mario has a horse that can be versatile, but of course has done his best work up front, and he mentioned it right there. He wasn't looking to necessarily be on the lead, so we'll have to see how this horse does react to the kind of trip that he does get, but love the looks of the nice calm presence of the 3, Ace 44 Elvis, one that has 22 starts on the season. Going up and down the page here, the horse with the most starts, though, is the 2, Leading Resolve, who had 25 starts coming into tonight, 11 last year as a rookie. And sometimes for me, while this one on paper I really have a tough tough task of trying to come up with a way this horse is going to be able to win. You find with these horses, those hard knockers, they're always going to be able to compete. They're always going to be able to hang in there. This one has run into the braking issues a little bit, but Bruce Richardson now has the fortunate position of leaving from the rail, and it's just the kind of horse that if you're playing the exotics, you have to take notice because they should be able to get this one in a nice spot.
Well, here's the thing. Rail advantage, not a whole lot of early gate speed to work with, but we've just witnessed Mario saying he wants to leave, Wa's going to be leaving, Borth is going to be leaving. This could work out to be a big speed battle, setting it up for a long shot closer.
I agree with that. I like the thinking there. You never know. Just one that you maybe have to take a little extra consideration to with how you're mapping out your tickets, as we're just a couple of moments away from this 7th race. So we were going to the gate when I asked you for your top pick in the last. Why don't we take a little more time here?
Sure.
Where are you going?
You know what? I'm gonna go to Totterborth. Ace 44 Elvis. I love the look of him out of the post parade, nice and calm, as you mentioned. He's just got I'm a winner kind of written all over him there tonight. Just looking so calm and relaxed and very sharp. Like the early speed threat and Ace 44 Elvis. The price is right, 9-2.
I do agree with that right there. I'm going to have a tough time getting off the favorite, though, in the 4 Impressive Dude. You know, Louis Waugh hasn't necessarily had to chase this guy around the province, even though he's been his co-owner, but I'm sure he had this date circled for a little while as making sure he'd be here to get him to the finish line first in this Prospects final.
Little drone coverage.
Yeah, check that out. A great shot there as the trotters all look good moving on up. So it's the 3-year-old Colton Gelding trot final of the Prospects series. We're set to go for race number 7 here from Grand River Raceway. And once again, let's connect with track announcer Gary Guy.
Yuri to the outside, Hamilton to be in Fox Valley, Ontario, and the second tier, Deal and Double. They're at the start of the rough. Ace 44 Elvis, Impressive Dude, quick off the wings. Ace 44 Elvis is going to find the pocket. Then Electro Longlegs, but now scooting through to the inside. Leading Resolve is third. Electro Longlegs is racing fourth. And then Deal and Double, Warwi Yuri, Hamilton Devian, Fox Valley, Ontario. It's Impressive Dude and Louis Waugh who's got the lead. Ace 44 Elvis is racing second, leading Resolve third. Deal and Double is fourth, and then Warwi Yuri on the outside. Electro Longlegs, and then Hamilton DeVee and Fox Valley, Ontario is back trailing the field as they work on around the turn. Impressive Dude leads. Impressive Dude is in front by 3. Ace 44 Elvis is second, leading Resolve on the inside third. Off that 29-2 opening quarter, they head their way up towards the half, and Electro Longlegs is now moving those legs to the outside as they race their way on towards us. And off stride went Deal and Double. Halftime was recorded in 59-3. Now fifth to the outside, Hamilton DeVee. Warwi Yuri is sixth, and racing seventh, Fox Valley, Ontario. But Impressive Dude continues impressively of a 59-3 halftime. Has a commanding lead of about 4 lengths right now over Ace 44 Elvis. Leading Resolve is third. Electro Longlegs racing fourth, and then Hamilton DeVee. And to the outside, Fox Valley, Ontario. And Warwi Yuri is back trailing the field. 3/4 in 129. Impressive Dude continues. Ace 44 Elvis is second, leading Resolve is third. And then to the outside, Fox Valley, Ontario has come on to take over fourth, and then Electro Longlegs in the field turns for home. On down the stretch drive they come. It's all Impressive Dude. Impressive Dude is cruising at the finish. Now flying up late comes Fox Valley, Ontario to pick up second. Then third goes to Ace 44 Elvis, and then leading Resolve 158-3. It was all Impressive Dude to take race number 7.
Well, impressive, he certainly was. As Impressive Dude absolutely crushes them here in this Prospect Series final. And on paper, he looked like he might be much the best. And we did speculate just to the kind of mile he could turn in, teaming up with his co-owner Louis Waugh for this final of the Prospect Series, and nothing to it. Out to the lead, left beautifully, and then Louis just sat there. He was a passenger, as it's a 158 and 3 mile for Impressive Dude. And there isn't a whole lot to say about this one here, Sugar, because it looked like it was over right from the start.
You know what? He made front just like that, unstressed throughout. And we mentioned, when this horse has been left alone on the lead, he usually shows up big in the end, and that's exactly what he did tonight.
And you look back at his victories, as we mentioned, he had 3 of his last 4 had been trips to the winner's circle, won by 5.5. He had a close victory here back on August 30th of 3 parts of a length, but then before that he won by nearly 5. And this is another blowout victory, probably the largest of his career, as he's going to get his 6th win in 18 starts this season. I mean, he had a mark of 155 and 2 taken at Georgian several weeks back. This is a really nice horse that, this is the level he had to be at, probably the way the season went along. But as we get now towards the last few months of 2023, it's kind of interesting to see where this horse could go.
You might see him pop up at the big track. More big races to come maybe for this son of my MVP. When he made front, he just looked so good out there, and they just couldn't get close.
Hey, you'll check him out right there. No hobbles. I mean, just a real good looker the way that he moves along the track. Second was the 8 Fox Valley Ontario at 14-1, was able to edge out the 3 Ace 44 Elvis, and we had speculated that maybe the 2 Fleeting Resolve was the kind of horse that you had to take consideration to when you were playing the exotics. And head of the lane there, he had an opportunity to maybe be second, maybe third, settles for 4th there. But if you were playing that super here and you had him at the bottom, you might get rewarded all right.
You know what? If you got the chalk on top, you want some bombs underneath. That was one of them.
So back to the winner's circle is the 4 Impressive Dude, as mentioned, a son of my MVP, owned by Louis Waugh, Michael Letard, and Jean Allaire. Winning trainer, there's Eric Nadeau at the head of the horse, and Louis Waugh on his night off from the big track comes up the road to Elora and gets the job done with a horse that he part owns. So they'll be very happy on this occasion.
Very well behaved, I might add. This is just a 3-year-old colt, and very well behaved here, and the connection's looking very happy with this Prospect Series final victory.
So with the victory here tonight, he's going to pick up $7,500. I mean, this is going to bring him over $45,000 for the season. This has been a pretty profitable campaign, especially when you consider, you had hopes that he could be a grassrooter, but here you are at the prospects level. You take advantage of it. The opportunities are there to still make a nice season.
You know what? He raced 18 times. He's top 3, 13, a winner of 6, and as you mentioned, $45,000 earned. Not so bad for a 3-year-old colt, son of my MVP.
So he's got victories over the half, victories over the 5/8. Maybe he does make that jump to the big track. Only time will tell. We're going to go down to the winner's circle. Robert Reed is standing by with winning driver Louis Waugh.
Driver and owner of Impressive Dude. All that much more enjoyable when you own part of them, Louis?
Yeah, definitely. With my friend Eric there that does the training, and it's a little bit more exciting when you own part for sure.
And you got this horse, a yearling at the Ontario Select Sale, I think a $17,000 yearling purchase, and got to be happy with the way he's developed over the years.
Yeah, he always had a little bit of breathing issues, and I feel like lately, even when it's colder outside, he's better. He might be kind of a winter horse, so that might have explained why in the middle of the summer I feel like he wasn't as good as he is right now. So that might be fun for him over the next few months if he keeps racing that way.
And a couple of wins in the Prospect Series for him last season, and then this year, of course, he's had a good campaign in the Prospect Series, and then wins the final. Talk about the Prospect Series, that added lower tier for a horse like Impressive Dude's got to be real important.
Oh, definitely. Like it's crazy how the breeding stakes and all it's tough in here. Like you got the gold, and you think, oh, maybe I don't have a gold horse, I got a grassroots, but you might be pretty quick disappointed, because even the grassroots, they're really competitive horse that could figure in anywhere. So Prospect gives them kind of a pretty good third option, and so that was nice for us to have that option with that one.
And this, of course, closing night here at Grand River, right last night over this half-mile surface. You've got some good memories over this track. Anyone stand out in particular?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
So any memories stand out in particular over the half-mile surface here?
Yeah, when I won the Battle of the Bells with that little filly of René Bourassa. love that smile, and it's a really nice surface. And I was talking about that with an owner earlier. It's nice how the management, all the people, they care about the fans, they care about the racing. You come here and there's always a good atmosphere, a lot of people in the stands, and so it's not. I've traveled a lot of places, even in the States, and it's not always like this. So you kind of appreciate all the work that's been put by all the people, you and all the management here.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Thanks for saying that, Louis. And we love having you here too. So congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, Louis Philippe, winning driver and owner of Impressive Dude in the OSS Prospect Series Final.
All right, there you have it. Impressive Dude. And Louis Waugh, always so well-spoken and usually pretty candid. Pretty happy to get the W here with what ended up being the 1-9 choice. 210 across the board for the 4. Impressive Dude. I lock my eyes over to those exotics, though. Dollar Super pays $42.60, but again, like you said, Sugar, you had to put the chalk on top and just hope to get some prices underneath.
Yep, 210 across the board on Impressive Dude. The exact, not so bad there. $730, dollar try. 805. Cooler weather might be the deal for Impressive Dude.
All right, excited to see what could be in store for him in the weeks and months to come. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we tee up race number 8. It's the 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pace Final on Prospect Series night here at Grand River.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
Welcome back to Cosa-Tv as we roll on this Prospect Series final night at Grand River Raceway. And coming up next, it's race number 8. This is the 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pace Final. And hey, Sugar, we don't have any scratches here. All right, we've got the field that we had on our page set to go forward. It will be a field of 8. Do note there's a driver change on number 2. Let Jimmy take over, as Garrett Rooney will now do the driving for trainer Lindsay Kerr, who we will catch up with on the other side of the post parade. But right now, your favorite at 6-5 is the 3 Ballykeel Painter. Daryl Thiessen does the driving, and another driver who has been well-traveled, his story well-documented, and continuing to make strides here in the province is Daryl.
That's right, a former bull fighter on the rodeo circuit all over North America. Great fella. Lives a great life. I kind of envy him. His travels everywhere and seems to have a lot of fun sharing on social media his travels through harness racing.
And that's something that social media allows people to do, is to track these participants in our great sport and to see where it does take them. And I know Daryl's got a big fan base that's been rooting him on. Suffered a real serious injury out west during one of the COVID shutdowns, and I know that really put him on the sidelines for quite a while. But it seems right now he's gaining momentum.
Gaining momentum in a big way. He can drive anywhere, you know. I've watched him come in from out west, and not an easy thing to do. We mentioned Travis Cullen there earlier on the program. Daryl Thiessen doing it and doing it well.
So he is going to team up with Ballykeel Painter for Terry McKibben. They lead from post position number 3. Currently your 8-5 choice. Let's go back, though, and take a closer look at another one of the competitors in this final, as we're going to now take a look back, as we will go all the way back here to June the 9th here at Grand River Raceway. Meet Me in Mykonos on the lead here for Austin Sorey on this occasion, and is going to go all the way. Austin will be driving a different competitor here tonight, but for Meet Me in Mykonos, 2 wins from 6 starts, and you always have to take notice of the Greg McNair trainees.
This horse, Meet Me in Mykonos, made a break around the turn last time out, but check him out in here. The straightaways is where this horse does his best work. Watch him pull away and Yeah, I really like this one tonight. 2-year-old colt son of Better's Delight. The Better's Delight's awesome here.
So that one came 2 back there, September 6th, pardon me, not June 6th for Meet Me in Mykonos. Greg McNair trains. Here's a look at your top point earners through the regular season. Ballykeel Painter, who is the current 8-5 choice, racked up 178 points to get the top spot. Wild Dog Holiday is the one that Austin Sorey will drive. Another Greg McNair trainee, has the tough task of leaving from post position number 8, but has put together a nice campaign. Not necessarily a lot of trips to the winner's circle, but quite a few runner-up finishes. And that's been the case for a few of those getting to these finals here tonight. They just hope that this could be the night they finally do break on through. So that's a look at what we've got coming up here. Better's Rush, who is the second top point earner, has the rail starting spot. But despite having the second most points through the regular season, and despite drawing the rail, still 18-1, which is kind of catching me a little off guard here.
Longest shot on the board thus far. Trainer Blake McIntosh teaming up with Travis Henry. Strong combination of the half modelers here in Ontario.
And this is the thing about a horse that maybe doesn't have a whole lot of wins on its card, but consistently right there. I mean, we talk about top 3 finishes all the time, but I guess the betting public wants to see those horses that know how to win.
Always in the hunt is Better's Rush, another son of Better's Delight. We might mention we do have another mandatory multi-leg wager kicking off here, and possibly another bond play.
That could be the case here. We kick off a pick 4 to take us through the balance of the card, races 8, 9, 10, and 11. Our coverage is going to wrap up on race number 10, but if you are playing along, best of luck if you want to get in on that pick 4 as the money continues to trickle in and we start to see the odds board shake a little bit. There is a look at the one, Better's Rush, Better's Delight son here, and there is driver Travis Henry, who's having another good campaign. Those Better's Delights, it doesn't matter how old they get, right? I mean, that's the case. They just continue to rack up the wins, the earnings. It's been quite, I mean, just the lucrative and the longevity of Better's Delight is something that'll be well documented for many years.
I was lucky enough to take in a tour at Woodback Farm earlier this season, and he's still the king around those parts.
He certainly is. He is well idolized within the industry, and of course right there at Woodback Farm, they absolutely adore him. There's a look at the 2. We do have that driver change to Garrett Rooney, who will now take over the lines for trainer Lindsay Kerr as we get a good look at the horses leaving the gorgeous paddock facility here at Grand River Raceway. It's a field of 8 for this final. That's what we ended up on. Could have obviously been a field of 9 depending how many entered, and we'll see some smaller fields as we do move along. Again, the one thing about the Prospect Series, just like the Grassroots or the Gold, you kind of start to weed them out as the season goes along. Others might stay pretty competitive. Others may have some top performers that begin to stand out. All right, we're going to meet the field now. Here's the post parade for race number 8. 1 is Better's Rush. It is Travis Henry for Blake McIntosh. 1 win in 10 tries, but he has 8 top 3 finishes to his name. He's always in the hunt.
Right on. Number 2, Let Jimmy Take Over. It's going to be third time for the trainer, Lindsay Kerr. Garrett Rooney is the driving change for number 2 in here.
The 3 is Ballykeel Painter, current co-favorite at 2-1. Daryl Thiessen drives for Terry McKibben. 3 wins in the last 4 for Ballykeel Painter, who is a son of Dally. Just 5 starts to this point, so lightly raced in his 2-year-old campaign. Didn't make his first start till August 6th.
Another one lightly raced, a half dozen starts for the 4, Meet Me and Mykonos. We saw the winning replay from September 6th over Grand River Raceway. The rare break last time out. This horse loves the straightaways. Tyler Borth on for Greg McNair.
Anthony Hahn and Meg Crone, they always put up some good numbers each and every season, especially in the provincial program. And they have the 5, Betting Again, a Better's Delight gelding. 3rd in his most recent effort, just beat a length, tried to go the distance on the front, and just gave it up late.
2nd of 2, Blake McIntosh trainees. This one for Hut Racing Stable, Sam Fillion on board 6, Mac Wow.
7 is Vogue Blue Chip. It's Paul McKenzie for trainer Rod Boyd. Winless in 8 starts. Now would be the time to break the maiden.
Another Greg McNair trainee, the 8 Wild Dog Holiday for owner breeder William Brown. Austin Sorey the call here.
All right, so there is the field for race number 8, and you've talked about those Greg McNair trainees fitting in prominently. In fact, even number 2 was originally a Greg McNair trainee that switched barns in recent weeks. He always has a ton of babies each and every year and usually racks up quite a bit of wins and earnings in the provincial program. They are set up just down the road here from Grand River Raceway. It's time to go back down to the paddock.
Thank you, Mark. Let Jimmy take over your post 2 starter in here, making just the 3rd start for Lindsay Kerr. This is one that you purchased from On Gate, correct?
Yep, correct. We bought him a few weeks ago. We've raced him twice, and both starts he's been racing really good. He's a character in the barn, nice horse. So we really liked him. We thought he'd be okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, what was it about him that you liked in making you decide to purchase him?
Yeah, so Brittany Kennedy actually has 2 of his siblings racing right now, and they're always right there in the hunt, racing really tough. He's a very handsome horse. I think he's going to be a nice size, and I think next year he might be a little bit better. If so, that's great. If not, it happens. But no, he's a looker and a fun horse, I think.
Yeah, and he's just 2 years old, so it's safe to say he's still just learning the ropes, right? And a real nice step forward, it looked like last time. He came from a long way back. Just talk about that effort.
Yeah, no, we weren't really sure what to expect. We had Scott Coulter driving him for the first time, and he still is green out there. He kind of dinks around when he can, but he did come on really good at the end there. We were super happy with that effort, and unfortunately Scott was sick tonight, so he couldn't be here. So we do have Garrett Rooney driving, but I told him everything, and let's just see what happens, I guess.
And a very capable substitute for sure. Listen, thanks for joining us. We'll let you go watch it. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Lindsay Kerr, and let Jimmy take over. 3rd start for the new barn, looking to take a prospect championship tonight, guys.
Yes, that's the case, Greg, and one that has been improving with each start for the new barn. A 5th first time out, 3rd most recent, and if you continue with that trend, that would mean a victory here tonight. A good look at the 2, let Jimmy take over. 8-5 favorite right now is 3 Ballykeel Painter. Sugar, a horse that I like in this spot here, is actually one that is going to have to overcome a real tough starting spot. That's the 8 Wild Dog Holiday, another Greg McNair trainee who comes in off a victory, won by 3.5, a strong performance where he just went down the road on September 13th. They tried him at the grassroots level to begin, and it didn't really end up working out. There were some difficulties, and now at the prospects, he's fit in beautifully. It just took him quite a while to finally get to the winner's circle, and that's an angle I like, is those horses that finally, once they get that taste of victory, it kind of propels them on. They gain a bit of momentum. That's where I'm going to go in here. It's a 7-1 price. Austin Sorey in the bike, but is the starting spot enough to scare you away?
It might be for me. I've gone through the program, and I got an S for speed on 6 horses in here. This first turn could get crazy.
It could, and maybe we will see a bit of a shootout as they fire out of there. So let's talk a bit about that speed. Who do you all see going forward here?
You know what? Better's Rush got some speed on the inside. Those Blake McIntosh trainees, the young horse, they all seem to have that good early step. Daryl Thiessen with a Ballykeel Painter. You look through his lines, seems to like the front end. That Meet Me and Mykonos, if he can get through the opening turn cleanly, look for him to show up big. Even the 5 Betton again, nice value play there for Anthony Hahn, 6-1. You know what? The only horses I'm not seeing early speed from are the 2 and 7.
So maybe the 2 and 7 are hoping they just mix it up, and it's a big throwdown, and they can kind of come picking up the pieces. You never know how this could play out. And with these rookies early in their careers, you've probably got to be a little careful with them. But at this point now, into late September, they're all kind of becoming veterans of this game. We talked about a few of them being lightly raced, but I mean, lightly raced in here is at least 5 starts under the belt. So there won't be a whole lot of babying that has to go on.
You're right. Ballykeel Painter, that start up in Clinton was an upset victory. He was the longest shot on the board, but when Daryl Thiessen moved him that day at Clinton, I was calling the action. He moved with authority. He was 15-1, but he moved him like a 2-5 shot.
So I'm going with the 8 Wild Dog Holiday. Where are you heading?
I'm going to go to Thiessen with Ballykeel Painter. I mean, if this horse can stay clean throughout, even the 4, Meet Me and Mykonos, I'm kind of torn. 3-4, 4-3.
Well, maybe we'll get that exacta here. The gate is in motion. The 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pace Final, the Prospect Series. A lot of potential lining up in this race. The horses that you could see taking that step forward next season, moving up the ranks in the provincial program. So here we go for race number 8, Prospect Series Final. Coming up, here's Gary Guy with the call.
It's a field of 8. It is race number 8 on closing night at the river. Here they come. And the field for race number 8. Gathering speed approaching the start. And they're off and blasting from the outside is Wild Doc Holiday, also leaving Ballykill Painter, Meet Me and McConos, and on the inside, Better's Rush. They charge into the turn. Better's Rush has got the lead. Ballykill Painter is racing second. Meet Me and McConos is going to be on the inside, racing third. Wild Doc Holiday still charging to the outside. Ballykill Painter in search of the lead. Ballykill Painter, Better's Rush. Wild Doc Holiday got away well from post 8 to be third. Then Meet Me and McConos is racing fourth. Betting Again is fifth. Then rolling sixth. Let Jim take over. Mac Wow, Vogue Blue Chip, Ballykill Painter leads as they race their way on around the turn. Better's Rush is second. Wild Doc Holiday looks charged up and sitting on the inside third. About 3 off the lead. 27 and 4 opening quarter. They race off the turn and they roll up towards the half. Ballykill Painter up and driving already is Wild Doc Holiday. Moving first over on the inside, Better's Rush. Then Betting Again, Meet Me and McConos, and then it is back to Let Jim take over. Mac Wow and Vogue Blue Chip as they race their way on into the backstretch for the second and final time. Ballykill Painter's got the front. Better's Rush on the inside. Wild Doc Holiday grinding to the outside has come on to take over second. It's Ballykill Painter. Wild Doc Holiday. Better's Rush on the inside. Betting Again is out wide. Suiting up the inside. Meet Me and McConos and backing away now. Wild Doc Holiday after expending a lot of energy early. Betting Again is flying in the center of the track. Betting Again is taking the lead from Ballykill Painter. Let Jim take over. And Better's Rush. 3/4, 127 and 2. Betting Again has the lead. Let Jim take over. Is racing second as the field turns on down the stretch drive. And then Ballykill Painter is racing third. But it is Betting Again and Anthony Hahn. Betting Again has got the win sewn up. And then Meet Me McConos was second. Let Jim take over. And Better's Rush 157 flats.
All right, so it's the 5, Betting Again, who takes this Prospect Series final for the team of Hahn and Crone and got towed up second over towards 3/4, but had to head 3 deep when the 8 Wild Doc Holiday started to retreat, but that was fine. It was a good attack up at the leader, overtakes Ballykill Painter, and as they swing for home, gets a couple of lengths on them and closes it out. Rallying here was the 4, Meet Me and Mykonos, and Sugar, you were mentioning it throughout the mile. The turns just ate this guy up.
Right. Look for this one to go forward on the big track. If he ever shows up at Woodbine Mohawk Park, give him a good look.
He just had his difficulties, but when he got straightened out, he certainly was charging on the end of it. Meanwhile, number 2, Let Jimmy take over. We caught up with trainer Lindsay Kerr ahead of that race, and I think they got to be happy. They get a third here, raced well, and continues to show forward progression since moving into the barn.
Very nice purchase from OnGate for Team Kerr. Garrett Rooney got along fine with that son of Big Jim.
So it's going to be Betting Again, and one thing I like to take a look at when it comes to these Prospect Series are the horses that have tried the grassroots, and that was the case for Betting Again. Now, maybe it was the fact that the grassroots on August 18th were right here at Grand River Raceway, and this horse had shown that he can get over a half pretty well. He'd won a Prospect Series event in late July here, so the connections opted to take that shot. That being said, they had to have confidence to take the opportunity to move up in the ranks and try the grassroots. Now, sure, it didn't pan out on that occasion, but it probably spoke volumes to what they thought of this horse. And this gelded son of Better's Delight steps up in the right moment. Last week couldn't go all the way on the front end, but this time gets it done from sitting off the pace and turns a nice reward right away for the new connections. Started for Determination and Luke Blais. First start for Hahn and Crone, and gets to the winner's circle.
Owner Laverne Turnbull will be very happy. Good-sized Better's Delight son here. I think you'll see that one go forward in a big way as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, I agree with that right there. And well-bred, again, if it was a Determination horse, we had to have an idea of what they like to go after and what they do target. And they part ways here. They're not going to keep a ton of horses in their barn that are going to race at this level. They like to have that turnover, and a nice purchase here for Laverne Turnbull, trainer Meg Crone, and winning driver Anthony Hahn, as that's the second win in 7 tries here for Betting Again. Stops the clock in 157 flat. It's a new lifetime best, and showed very impressively here tonight.
I like the look, and a very nice mannered horse there in the winner's circle with the nice Prospect Series final blanket sheet on his back.
So a nice effort from Betting Again to take this final. Went off at odds of, I want to say it was around 4-1. We'll have the prices in just a moment. But again, Robert Reed is standing by in the winner's circle with the winning driver, Anthony Hahn.
Winner's Circle with Anthony Hahn, winning driver aboard Betting Again. And we were just talking, Anthony, new recruit to the barn of Meg Crone. I know you're there every day with them, and had been off for a few weeks coming into this, but certainly driven with confidence.
Yeah, we just got him. Laverne bought him off on gate, and we knew Luke was beside us, so we knew a little bit about him. He's in the next barn over. But yeah, we trained him up pretty good, and I thought he'd be okay. He was sick after the last start there when Luke raced him. He was on the front, and I kind of maybe thought he mightn't like the front as much. But I was confident enough in him, especially when they raced a little bit early there.
Yeah, I mean, you made that move, pretty early, I guess, all things considered, right? And he really responded getting to the front.
Yeah, he felt pretty good there following Austin, and he'd left from the 8 hard and first up, and I didn't really think he had a whole lot of soap left, and like I say, we went a decent half. I thought if I could get up and engage Darrell's horse, maybe I'd have a shot as it turned out. He kind of bounced off cover quicker than I thought he would, so.
And you've had a tremendous season here at the River. I mean, you were in the hunt for the driver's title. I mean, obviously Colin looks like he's got that wrapped up now, but let's talk about the stock that you've got to drive throughout the season.
Yeah, my trainers let me down the last few weeks, I guess. But no, it's been really good. I've had a good year. I enjoy racing here. Our own horses race good. Tony Beaton, Laurie LePage, a bunch of other guys. The holidays, they kind of support us here, and I always kind of seem to do well here. So I love it here.
And looking forward to the bigger surface next season.
Yeah, interested to see how it is. I hope the fans like it as much. And yeah, I like the 5/8, but this is okay. Sometimes you don't want to change when you're doing okay, but yeah, it'll be exciting, I think.
All right, I'm sure you'll be just fine. Anthony Hahn, winning driver on Betting Again in the final of the Prospect Series.
All right. Well, I can kind of echo those sentiments there. Why do you want to mess with a winning thing? It's been a great season for Anthony Hahn, and as Robert Reed mentioned, he was right in the hunt. They had a really good battle going for the driving title heading into the final few days. Looks like Colin Kelly will secure it, but for Hahn and Crone and owner Laverne Turnbull, mentioned right there, purchase this one off on gate and get a quick return. Maybe not all their money back just yet, but this horse still has a lot of racing opportunities moving forward. He's just a 2-year-old.
I like the look of him. Like I said, a good size. The son of Bettor's Delight. Anthony Hahn, super humorous guy. I love that interview.
Just tells it like it is. So there it is for Betting Again to take this final of the Prospect Series. We'll have a look at the payouts in just a moment here. You're not going to see the tote board get absolutely blown up this time here. But again, if you're playing along and you're having some success, I mean, this hasn't necessarily been the easiest of card to nail down. And we just kicked off another multi-leg sequence, kicking off a new pick 4. We've already got a pick 5 on the go. Here's a $10 winner in Betting Again. 1030 sugar here, and that exacta, a nice return.
51 even, not so bad for the 5-4 combination. My old number, 542 for the dollar try, 96.35. Nice superfect in there as well.
Yeah, payout's really good there. So I think it kind of spoke volumes to the competitive group that we had there. A $10 winner in Betting Again. And if you had that one, well, you're going to be betting again. So we'll turn now on to race number 9 on the other side of the break, as it'll be the 3-year-old pacing fillies coming up next.
Is fast and exciting at the picturesque Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park racetracks in Ontario, Canada. Woodbine Standardbred, home of the Pepsi North America Cup, a summer classic.
Pebble Beach in Iran.
And Woodbine Thoroughbred, home of the historic King's Plate.
But the mighty filly has devastated them.
Full fields, exotic wagers, iconic events. Play Woodbine Thoroughbred and Woodbine Standardbred today at your favorite wagering location.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine's new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online, offers the best online service available. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easily as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To view the sales schedule, create your account, or learn more, visit www.preferredequineonline.com or call our sales team at 773-7777.
And welcome back to Grand River Raceway as we have 2 more Prospect Series finals to go. We now move over to the 3-year-old Pacers. We'll kick things off with the 3-year-old Pacing Fillies, a field of 7 getting set to go forward here. And based on the betting board we see right now, this is a very competitive contest. Might only be a field of 7, but there's many ways you could go. All right, welcome back to the desk. My name is Mark McKelvey. To my left is Shannon Sugar Doyle, and Greg Blanchard is standing by in the paddock. Well, hopefully you've been enjoying the coverage so far, and based on the excitement we've seen, I think these final 2, which you could consider maybe the co-main events, will certainly deliver. If you're tuning in tonight through Facebook or YouTube, once again, we encourage you to leave a comment. By leaving a comment, you're going to be entered in a draw for an opportunity to win an Ontario Sire Stakes sweatshirt as we get to the year-end championships of the provincial program. Coming up Saturday night, it is the Grassroots Championships, 8 finals coming up at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and the man to my left, he will be on the mic for that evening. And Sugar, I know you're really looking forward to it. The Grassroots just continues to get tougher and tougher. There's a lot of talent and some really good looking finals coming up Saturday.
We talked about it on the way down from London. Myself and Greg Blanchard, we mentioned how much the Grassroots have really come up in the last few seasons, and I'm really looking forward to this weekend at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
It's going to be a good one. That'll be the finals, and you'll be able to catch them right here on Cosa-Tv. But right now, let's get you teed up for this 3-year-old Pacing Filly Prospect Series final. And a horse we want to take a closer look at is Yoda Queen. And hey, I recognize that voice in the background. Let's go to the raceway at Western Fair. What can you tell us about Yoda Queen?
I remember this race. Yoda Queen, so much gate snap off the wings to the lead. Doug McNair with a heavy favorite. I mean, Andy Moore's on the inside here with an 80-1 bomber being pressed by a 1-9 shot for Doug McNair. You know what? Doug McNair is by right here. Andy Moore coming right back. Yoda Queen. I have yet to see her beat one on the lead.
Well, this City of London final is one that'll stick out for quite some time. In fact, if you're following along with the Unfiltered series through OLG, this race made it into it. I know it really stung Doug McNair. I'm not sure if Doug is tuning in, but I hope he wasn't watching there. But Andy Moore, that was a big thrill on that night. It was a wonderful night of racing. That was a lot of good races that night, Sugar. I mean, you had the pleasure of calling them. I think of the Forest City final. Yeah, you're still getting goosebumps from that one.
The hair is standing up on my arms as you mentioned that. It was a fine night. I mean, we had so much more in. We had covered bridge in for the Camelot Classic. That was a dandy night in London.
It was certainly great, and a new season is coming up starting this Monday. The opening night card has already been drawn. You saw the point earnings there, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. The new season's coming up. I know you're excited. You always are. What do you look forward to at the start of a new campaign?
You know what? I don't really look forward to trying to pick winners because, I mean, they're coming in from tracks all over the place. But what I do look forward to is just the return of the horses. We've got a nice 10-race card on Monday. I enjoy getting down to the paddock prior to the racing action, meeting up with some old friends. It's just a good feeling with the racing coming back to the raceway in London on Monday.
So Grand River's going to close up after tonight. The raceway at Western Fair District's going to open up on Monday. And before the horses get to the track, coming up in a few weeks is the London Classic Yearling Sale as well. So this is a really busy time.
It is, too. We just finished up our big Western Fair, into racing, into the London Classic Yearling Sale, year 2 for that. Almost 300 yearlings up for sale.
It's going to be a busy few days and, of course, a busy few weeks for everybody at Western Fair getting teed up for that. Really enjoy this time of the year, the sales season, all the major yearling sales. And, of course, when you have these provincial finals as well, lots of money being dished out, which you can bet is probably just going to get recirculated and pushed back into the sport.
You'll probably look forward to maybe reading some updates and the pedigrees at that sale from these big couple of weekends coming up.
I'm sure I will. There'll be a few that we'll have to talk about. Let's meet the field for the 3-year-old Pacing Filly final. One is Brindley Sealsters, Jason Ryan driving for owner-trainer Courtney Bishop. 4th in the most recent, just beat a length, 1 for 12 on the campaign.
Number 2 across, Marion J. Harris on board for owner-trainer breeder James Dean, 2-time winner this season.
3 is Oguda. It's Mike Horner, the trainer driver, shares ownership with RAW Equine and Mark Horner. This is one that has 8 wins on the campaign.
Number 4, Chocolate for Lunch. I'll have it anytime. This one for Jason Woodward, Brett McDonald on board.
5 is Yoda Queen. We watched that replay from the City of London final. 4 wins on the campaign. Andy Moore for Jamie Doig.
Handbag of cheesies. Now I am hungry. Wilfred Perot training Nick Boyd up.
Well, I could probably take a Corona right about now, but I'll have to wait 2 more races before I can do that. There's a 7. Give me a Corona. Can Hahn and Crone and Turnbull come right back with another series final victory?
Wouldn't
we'll
that
find
be
out.
something, right?
That would be something. Let's now continue to focus in on the 5 Yoda Queen as our colleague Greg Blanchard is standing by with a special guest.
Thanks again, guys. Jamie Doig, the owner-trainer of Yoda Queen, joining me. And I can't help, first of all, but think back to Camluck Classic night this year in that City of London final. I mean, with the Camluck and the great horses we had, I would say the highlight of the undercard for a lot of people was Yoda Queen winning and a big bombs away winner that night. You know, I'm sure you still, flash back and really reflect on that fondly, even this far after the fact.
Watch the race all the time. It was just exciting. I was surprised they actually let her go off at that high odds because she finished second in both the eliminations and raced really good. But whatever, I'm not a bettor, so it doesn't matter to me. So.
And how fun was it to share it with Andy Moore? I'm sure a longtime friend of yours. Yeah. And they call him affectionately the Hoorah Kid. And boy, you couldn't wipe the smile off his face for months after.
We had a pretty long night that night. We were celebrating. It was good for both of us. We live 1.25 miles apart from each other. We've raced a lot together. He's drove a lot of my horses. It was awesome.
And she's had a real nice summer for you since then, a couple of wins. And off of a win in July, you gave her some time off, and she's just had the one start back. Was that by design?
Yep. Yeah, I own her myself, so I didn't have to answer to any owners. So I just said I'm going to give her some time off and not go to Peterborough because I figured she had enough points to make the final. And then we raced her last week to tighten her up.
Any instructions for Mr. Moore tonight, or you just let him handle things?
I never tell him too much because he'll just do what he wants anyway.
Touche. Best of luck.
All right, thanks.
All right, we'll see if Yoda Queen can recapture some of the Camluck Classic night magic here tonight, guys.
Something tells me there, Greg, there might still be a little magic left in the bottle here for Yoda Queen. I don't know about you, Sugar, but pretty easy to cheer for these connections.
I love that interview. Jamie Doig, Greg Blanchard, Cosa-Tv, Yoda Queen. I love this little horse. Like I mentioned when we were watching her replay, I have never seen her beat. Went on the lead, and she's got a really good gate snap.
We'll see if Andy Moore does elect to use that gate speed. You'd have to think so, and the fact that they were able to take all of August off with this 3-year-old filly, and he mentioned right there, it was by design, has the opportunity to call his own shots when you don't have to answer to any owners, and they get that tightener in, and it was a trip over this Grand River Oval, so there's no surprises here tonight for her either. I mean, you have to really give her serious consideration. No surprises. She's second choice at 5-2.
Great management, Jamie Doig. Very confident in that interview, too. He's not scared of anything in here. Yoda Queen is a player, folks. 10 for 14 this season, a 4-time winner. Big shot here.
How about the 7, Gimme a Corona? You look back at the lines 2 and 3 back, and you see Loop. You may be wondering, where is the Loop? But hey, here is a well-traveled 3-year-old who is covering a few provinces.
The Loop got this one out to Manitoba for a couple of outings and won a big race. $11,000 purse is one of the largest ones you'll see in Manitoba harness racing. So give me a Corona. Outside looking in, I don't see this one with early speed. It's got a set up for her.
I think so. I agree with that. But we did see that work out in the most recent race for Hahn and Crone, and this is a horse that, although was well-traveled and made the trek out to Manitoba, came back and performed very well, picking up the pieces in that most recent outing. That's going to be my pick. I'm going with the 7. Give me a Corona. Sugar, I'd be shocked. You've got to be going with Yoda Queen, right?
Hoorah Kid again. Let's go.
All right, here we go. The gate is in motion. The 3-year-old pacing fillies are lining up. It's a field of 7 for this $15,000 Prospect Series final. We're going to hand things over to track announcer Gary Guy. 2 finals to go this season in the Prospects.
Series final, 3-year-old pacing fillies. Brenly Silter Turquoise Marion on the inside. In the center, Oguda, Chocolate for Lunch, and Yoda Queen. And to the outside, Handbag of Cheesies and Gimme a Corona. It's a field of 7 for the 9th race. There at the start of the rough, Oguda and 2 across Marion are going to blast out. Yoda Queen, give me a Corona to the outside. Chocolate for lunch, and then handbag of cheesies and Brindley Sealster. But it is Oguda who's got the front into the backstretch. 2 across Marion's racing second. Yoda Queen continues to march on the outside, and Yoda Queen is driving, and Yoda Queen is going to come on now and clear to the front of her Oguda. Then 2 across Marion. Chocolate for lunch is racing for. Then it is back to Gimme a Corona, handbag of cheesies and Brindley Sealster. Yoda Queen at 3-1's got the lead. Oguda's racing, filling the pocket. 2 across Marion inside third. 27-3 the opening panel. 2 across Marion pops out quickly. And Chocolate for Lunch follows 2 across Marion to the outside. Then it is back to Gimme a Corona. Brindley Sealster to the outside and handbag of cheesies on the pylons. It is Yoda Queen as they come up to the half. Getting pressure from 2 across Marion of a 27-3 opening quarter. Halftime was recorded in 57-1. And it is Yoda Queen. In the pocket is Oguda. On the outside, 2 across Marion. And then also sent out 3 wide. Gimme a Corona is trying to sweep the field. Chocolate for Lunch and the 2 wide path and a handbag of cheesies on the inside in Brindley Sealster. It is Yoda Queen. Gimme a Corona is looking to belly up to the bar and come on and challenge Yoda Queen, and is out there 3 wide and is taking over second. 2 across Marion third, down to the inside. Oguda is racing fourth, but it's Yoda Queen. Yoda Queen leads now by about 2.5 lengths. 3/4, 1:26-2. Yoda Queen. Oguda is racing second. And then 2 across Marion. Handbag of cheesies and Gimme a Corona. Yoda Queen on down the stretch drive, and Yoda Queen can start yodeling now. Victory is secured. Yoda Queen's going to win it by 6 or 7 lengths, and then Oguda and handbag of cheesies and Gimme a Corona. 155-4. Yoda Queen.
Well, there you have it. You called it, Sugar. You said you've never seen her beat on the front end. Andy Moore drives on there at the start to get to command just ahead of the opening quarter. He clears and goes all the way.
Yoda Queen. Yoda would say the force is strong with that daughter of all bets off.
Certainly is, as she is now a 5-time winner from 15 starts this season. Funny enough, she was winless in 5 tries as a rookie, but she's really found her stride in this 3-year-old season, and great management by Jamie Doig. That month off just to freshen her up, got to tighten her into her in that most recent outing, and here tonight it was guns a-blazing, just blasting out of there, and Andy Moore, you don't need gloves out there. That you can get the job done when you got a nice filly like this at your control. She was electric again here tonight, and the kind of filly that she's tough. I mean, she took a little pressure there going to the half, on to 3/4. Anthony Hahn trying that 3-deep move. I think he ended up salvaging a 3rd or a 4th there. I guess it was a 4th, but obviously he felt he had the horse and Gimme a Corona that he had to go 3 deep. But would love to know, maybe we'll hear after the race from Andy Moore if there was ever any panic. Something tells me there really wasn't.
I don't think there was much panic in Andy Moore. I don't think there was any panic whatsoever in owner-trainer Jamie Doig. Very confident in that interview with Greg Blanchard.
So Oguda comes back on to finish second. Handbag of cheesies looked like that one was loaded with pace. Tried to come up the passing lane, just unable to edge out Oguda for second. And as mentioned, Gimme a Corona does finish 4th to round out that superfecta. But 5-2, the favorite ended up being the horse on the outside, and I'm with you here, Sugar. I like that one in Gimme a Corona. Thought that the connections had something good going there, especially off that last victory. But Yoda Queen, second start off the bench, and just goes down the road, and that is a winning move on this Prospect Series final night.
She's as pretty as a picture there with her Prospect Series final blanket. A couple of big victories on the season, City of London final, and now it's the Prospect Series final here at Grand River Raceway.
And she's got a mark of 154-3 over Hiawatha Horse Park. The kind of filly that you'd like to know what they think here does Jamie Doig and Andy Moore of maybe what her potential could be.
Loving that month of August off prior to this. Comes back, puts a start into her over Grand River, comes back, takes the final.
Exactly that. It is a long season. I mean, we're looking at lines there at the bottom of the page from back in April and May. Here we are late September. Some of them just don't hold up, but when you only have to answer to yourself, you can make your own schedule.
That filly looks so fresh finishing up that mile. I mean, the further they went, the more she was going to win by.
All right, well, we're going to hear from winning driver Andy Moore. Something tells me again, you're not going to be able to wipe that smile off his face. He is standing by in the winner's circle with Robert Reed Jr.
right? That's what they call you. Why they call you that. But listen, Yoda Queen drove that one to victory just now in the Prospect Series final, and Andy, this is a mare that's been, or filly that's been racing fantastic all season. You blew up the tote board in the City of London final earlier in the season, but she's been pretty good in the Prospect Series too.
Yeah, well, Jamie had her ready, and she dug down deep once again.
And with that tonight, I mean, last time out, racing off time, certainly seemed like she finished with all kinds of pace.
Yeah, she was sharp. She hadn't raced in 2 months, so raced her accordingly.
And you're having a career season. Yoda Queen, obviously a big part of that, especially on the earnings side of it. And tonight, you drove her with purpose. Was that the game plan going in?
I just let her do whatever she wants. She's the boss.
But she seems like a handy type, no?
Yeah, she's the nicest little thing I ever sat behind.
And how does it feel? I mean, you've been having tremendous success this season. I pulled up your stats. You're having a career year for both victories and for earnings. What do you attribute it to?
Yoda Queen.
Just Yoda Queen?
Yeah, pretty much, and just being her king.
All right, and where does Hoorah come from?
I have no idea. Somebody was probably drunk one time, and I hollered it maybe a couple times. That's about all I can figure out.
All right, Andy Moore, winning driver of Yoda Queen in the Prospect Series final.
How I thought it. That went exactly how I thought it was going to there. Andy Moore, he's a character. There's no doubt about that. And he and Yoda Queen, they've got a special bond. And if you back them, you get $8.90 to win, $5 to place, $2.80 to show. The Yoda Queen Oguda exacta pays $45.70. And check out that super for $1, even the 20 cents. 20 cents comes back $175.49. And again, certainly was achievable in this spot.
Amazing. Loving that win price, $8.90. Figured they'd be on the lead, and yep. Andy got her there, and she did all the work.
Certainly did. So Yoda Queen takes our second last final on this Wednesday evening here with the Prospect Series. Coming up next, it is the main event, the 3-year-old pacing colts and geldings, the Glamour Boys for the Prospect Series, coming up on the other side of the break.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with hpibet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming, and your first bet is on us. Go to hpibet.com to join for free today.
And welcome back to Grand River Raceway for the Prospect Series Finals. 1 dash remaining on tonight's coverage here on Cosa-Tv as the 3-year-old pacing colts and geldings. We are scratched down to just a field of 5, but there's a lot of talent in this group as we take a look at the field that'll be going forward. Just a couple of moments ago here at Grand River Raceway, they did have the opportunity to honor this year's leading driver and leading trainer. The driving title going to Colin Kelly. He's got multiple driving titles here now at Grand River Raceway, and for the first time, Brett Lester takes the training title. It all came down to the final couple of nights, and that's all you can ask for. You like having a nice battle. Sometimes you get some runaway winners. In this case, it was a very competitive season. All right, let's take a look now, Sugar, at our final race tonight here on Cosa-Tv. It's going to be a compact group of 5, but as I mentioned, there's a lot of talent in here, including number 2, Crazy World, who is the current even money choice. We're going to go back and take a look at a recent replay of this Chikeen trainee, and it's Crazy World, but it's actually been a pretty simple world for this gelded son of control at the moment, as he has had a fantastic season. Let's go back to Hiawatha Horse Park for his most recent start.
Right on. Here he is on the lead, where he just absolutely loves to be. Likely to be there again tonight. You know what I like about these replays tonight, Mark? Tracks from all over Ontario. We've seen London, Kawartha, Hiawatha, Flamborough, Georgia, Grand River. I love it, you know. A lot of people are seeing tracks that they normally wouldn't see.
That's what the Prospect Series certainly showcases, because it goes right around the province.
Yeah.
This was in Sarnia on this occasion, 153 flat. I mean, that is a strong effort, won by nearly 5 lengths, and that extended the current win streak to 4 in a row. If it wasn't for some broken equipment, it probably could be even longer. I mean, here is Crazy World, who has actually won 6 of his last 7 starts. Now, he finished second when it came to the points in the Prospect Series in the regular season. The top point earner was It Takes Two, who is the number 3 in here and is the second choice at the moment at odds of 8-5. Lauren House for Scott McNiven. These two are set to clash. Now, Crazy World has gotten the best of It Takes Two on a couple of different occasions. It Takes Two did get the best of Crazy World back in the first leg on June 25th. Should be a really good showdown, and based on the betting board, the public really thinks this is going to be a 2-horse race.
I believe they've got it right. 2-3 or 3-2 exactor box, possibly. Crazy World, a little bit late getting to the races. Missed the 2-year-old season, but as a 3-year-old, 17 for 18, top 3, 8 victories, working on his 9th in here.
So we've got Crazy World currently at even money, 8-5 on It Takes Two. Control the Moment, the sire of Crazy World. Art Speaks, the sire of It Takes Two. And actually, as you go through this group here, we've got 5 different stallions represented. We've got a Better Than Cheddar, Control the Moment, Art Speak, Better's Delight, and then we'll go down to Dally at the bottom, and a real good showcase for the various stallions here in the province.
You don't normally see that when it comes to finals with the 2- and 3-year-olds, and had the 5 gotten in, there was a sports writer.
Exactly that. So the 5 is out, so the Chikins are actually only going to send 1 horse forward, and there is a look at Crazy World, who will go from post position number 2, and we've been reflecting on the memories here at Grand River Raceway as the half-mile oval will now turn to a 5/8 come next season. And for the Chikins, earlier this summer, they brought Desperate Man over here. He turned in some monster efforts, including a track record 150-1. What would have been interesting is, do you think, Sugar, next year, the year after, do you think ultimately we would have seen 150 get broken here at Grand River Raceway, or do you think we maxed it out?
Pacers, age pacers, they're going in the right direction, both the mares and the horses and geldings. You know, I just finished a write-up for what they call Atlantic Post Calls back home. Desperate Man had a big mile here in July, 151 and change, or maybe it was Industry Day where he made the rear break, and I had thought maybe he was going to take a trip to the Gold Cup and Saucer where they paced some pretty big speed. Well, here he comes back, he wins in 150-1 to set the all-time track record that will never be broken here for the half miler.
It won't
Grand River
be.
Raceway.
And the record that he broke, I believe, stood for nearly close to a decade. So he goes down as the ultimately the fastest horse ever over the half-mile oval here at Grand River Raceway. Of course, we still got 2 races left, but no, we're not going to touch that here. There's no doubt about that. I just look at some of the other speed that's been flaunted over the years. I mean, the 2-year-old record was Stag Party 152-3. Wow. The 3-year-old record 151-1 Jet Airway back in 2014. So kind of shows too over the last decade. Really, they've been putting up these big time miles. If you've got the fastest 3-year-old ever did it 9 years ago, and here this year the fastest mile ever by an aged horse got tuned in. So there's been some good moments and some good memories and some records that will stand the test of time. Here's the field for this 3-year-old pacing Colton Gelding Prospect Series final. 1 is Pebble Beach Pro, and is Anthony Hahn driving for trainer Scott McNiven. Winless in 26 starts, has the rail 10 times in the top 3.
Right on. Number 2, Crazy World. Tough to go against. It's the drive for 5 in a row tonight for the Kachins, and Garrett Rooney stays on.
So the McNiven barn represented once again, this time by the 3, It Takes Two. Lauren House does the driving, a 6-time winner this season after going winless on 11 starts as a rookie.
Melissa Lamoureux training for the Alberta Connections. Daryl Thiessen on board for Delightful Leader.
The 5 is scratched, so the last horse we will meet on this Wednesday evening is number 6, Cold Creek Guerrero, owned by Cold Creek Standardbred of Grafton, Ontario. Murray Breather trains, and Jay Harris will do the driving. Made a miscue in the most recent start, so we'll look to bounce back, but here has been a consistent check getter, nearly $40,000 earned from 14 starts this season. So there is the field for this 3-year-old pacing Colton Gelding final on Prospect Series night at Grand River Raceway. And a man that is represented by a couple of starters in this compact group of 5 is trainer Scott McNiven, who is standing by with Greg Blanchard.
Thanks again, Mark. And yes, Scott's joining me here. He's got strength in numbers, if there is that in this field. Just a 6-horse field, but you've got 2 of the starters, and they've both drawn pretty well. Scott, I'm going to ask you about both horses in here. Pebble Beach Pro, let's start with him. You've got the rail. Horse winless this year, but he looks to me like he's a lot better than that record would indicate. Has he just been kind of a hard luck type?
Yeah, I'll tell you what his issue's been all summer. He's been jumping shadows. We kind of got him over that the last 5 starts. You can see on his card, he just gets better every week. So he's forgot about that, and there's no shadows out there now. So he'll be better.
And what have you tried to do to rectify that? Is that just equipment tinkering? Or?
Yeah, tinkering, and it really has just come down to daylight now. Where the sun sets earlier, and we don't have them.
So maybe a chance to surprise this group tonight?
I'm not sure about surprise, but he'll be better.
It Takes Two, he's kind of been the opposite end of the spectrum. Great record this year, very consistent, 6 wins. Has he exceeded expectations, or is he what you thought he would be?
Yeah, he's maybe what I thought he would be when we first started him last year, but then he just didn't get it last year. He needed that extra year, and he's just come into his own, and every week he seems to get better.
And Lorne House, you've teamed up with a lot over the years. Looks like he fits this horse like a glove. Just talk about kind of the relationship you've had with him and how good it is to have that familiarity with your regular driver.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, definitely. Lorne's done a great job for us. And when they know the horse, and he protects them too. They don't get roughed up. We have a horse for next week too.
All right. Any concerns he's keeping maybe a half an eye on that Blue Jay game tonight, or do you think he's fully focused?
It's over, so they got beat. So he's on to the next game.
All right. Well, listen, we'll let you go watch it. Best of luck.
Okay. Thanks, Greg.
All right, Scott McNiven. He's got 2 of the starters here tonight. Couple of contenders, Pebble Beach Pro and It Takes Two. Guys?
Greg, this isn't your first time down the paddock, is it? Geez, great interviews all night long.
Yep.
You've dragged some pretty good information out of the various connections. Pebble Beach Pro, not a fan of shadows. It Takes Two, just needed time to mature, and certainly has done just that. So Scott McNiven has a nice 1-2 punch, but there's a current look at the 2-5 favorite, number 2, Crazy World. Are we going to be crazy here, Sugar? Are we going to try and play against, or is this his race to win?
Yeah, I don't think I want to get crazy in here. I got to go to Crazy World, fine-looking son of control at the moment, doing everything right in recent starts. Not a whole lot of speed to his left there, right? So he's got to go to the lead.
A horse that has shown a lot of speed is number 6, Cold Creek Guerrero. That break in the last is obviously a little bit concerning, but we haven't seen that down his lines at all, really. I mean, as far back as I can see on the page here, he's never done that. So I'd like to think that could just be a one-off and won't become a common trend. It's now a field of 5. I'm not sure Jay Harris is going to absolutely blast, but knowing that the 2 is likely going there. But that said, I think he's going to push.
I like the way you're thinking. He moves in a spot now from post 5. You might have the exactor completion there. 9-2 is a pretty good price, so it's a third choice in wagering currently for 6, Cold Creek Guerrero, the exactor factor possibility.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to go here. Not as my top pick, but the one to be right behind Crazy World. We're both in agreement that Crazy World should get the job done here. I mean, trainer Murray Breather, though, with Cold Creek Guerrero, he's had a really nice season. Sent a horse out in the Mohawk Million just the other night in Griff. So, I mean, for Murray Breather here, big supporter, obviously, of the local program and one that's benefited from it, and another one that's able to take advantage of these opportunities. Maybe this is a horse in the past that they might have just had to part ways with a little bit earlier, but hey, they have the Prospect Series and they've been able to hang on, and now through 19 starts in 2 seasons, over $43,000 earned, and the kind of horse that I could still see making it as a nice racehorse for the next several years, whether that be on the small tracks.
You're talking about this horse, and this horse is dropping in value. 5-2 right now, second choice.
4-5 right now in the 2, Crazy World. It's the final Prospect Series final of the evening. The Glamour Boys, Crazy World, looking to make it 5 consecutive victories. Both Sugar and I think that's exactly what's going to happen, but something tells me, despite the fact we've got a small group here, there's going to be plenty of action. So here we go. Let's throw it up to track announcer Gary Guy for our last Prospect Series final of the evening.
It's a field of 5 for the 10th race, the Prospect Series final for 3-year-old Pacing Colts and Geldings. field for the 10th race. Gathering speed, approaching the start. There at the start of the rough. Crazy World, It Takes Two blasts so quickly. Cold Creek Guerrero from the outside. Crazy World trying to drive on through on the inside. But right now as It Takes Two in front of Crazy World, and It Takes Two went off stride. Crazy World was impacted but able to stay on stride, but that gave Cold Creek Guerrero the jump. Cold Creek Guerrero, Crazy World, delightful leader, Pebble Beach Pro, and It Takes Two is back trailing the field. Cold Creek Guerrero now has the lead, and Crazy World is racing second, 27-1 the opening quarter. Delightful leader is third. Pebble Beach Pro is racing fourth, and then It Takes Two is positioned fifth, and Cold Creek Guerrero, as they race off the turn, coming on towards us, Crazy World and Garrett Rooney racing position second, and Delightful Leader is positioned third and is right now about 4 off the lead of Cold Creek Guerrero. Then Pebble Beach Pro, and It Takes Two as they work their way past the half in 57-1 at 32nd second panel for Cold Creek Guerrero. Crazy World is moving up tighter in the pocket and racing third, Delightful Leader. Then Pebble Beach Pro, and It Takes Two. Cold Creek Guerrero as they work their way on down the backstretch. Crazy World at 1-5 is looming from the pocket. Delightful Leader pops out, but now Crazy World has come out quickly from the pocket. And Crazy World is trying to track down Cold Creek Guerrero, who is hanging strong, but Crazy World is getting closer. Crazy World, Cold Creek Guerrero. Crazy World now has a lead of half a length. Cold Creek Guerrero on the inside tries to fight, and Delightful Leader is third. Then Pebble Beach Pro, and It Takes Two, and the field turns for home. And it is Crazy World as they come on down the stretch ride. Cold Creek Guerrero hasn't thrown in the towel, though. Crazy World and Cold Creek Guerrero. Crazy World as they come to the finish. Crazy World is going to win. Then Delightful Leader, Cold Creek Guerrero, and Pebble Beach Pro, 155-4.
Well, I said there'd probably be a bit of action here, despite the fact that there was only a field of 5, and there was action all over the place from the start to the finish. Yeah. There is now an inquiry posted here in this 10th race, which really isn't much of a surprise. Some tight quarters here coming off the turn as Crazy World was bearing down in there on the 6th Cold Creek Guerrero, so we'll see if maybe the judges are looking at that. They're likely also going to go back and review the start of the race where, Sugar, we talked about the fact where would the speed come from. It Takes Two. Never have we seen this horse blast out of there, but Lauren House opted to do that tonight. Really chased this one in the first turn and unfortunately went off stride.
Yeah, just couldn't take the pressure of being on top going into the turn at full speed. It Takes Two with the break, but they all stayed up and they all stayed in it.
Yeah, they did that. And I mean, Cold Creek Guerrero, we mentioned this one made a break before the start in his most recent outing at Flamborough Downs. Clearly Jay Harris was trying to time it, kept this one off the gate and came roaring up as they were given the word go, and they were going 100 into that first turn. This one did get around the breaker, got to command, but ultimately just paid the price of that big 27-1 opening quarter to fade in the lane and has to settle for a 3rd place finish as Delightful Leader gets second. But it is Crazy World, who is now, at the moment, unofficially, a 5-time winner from his last 5 starts, 9 for 19 overall. This is a very talented 3-year-old who stops the clock tonight in 155-4.
Right on. Should he become the official winner, he reaches $60,000 in earnings on the season, first year at the races.
Exactly that. For an unraced 2-year-old to come back at 3 and to bank over $60,000, you have to think the connections would be pretty happy as Crazy World. And there's a look at Garrett Rooney starting to make the venture back to the winner's circle, although it doesn't look like he's making necessarily a direct route here, as we do have that inquiry sign posted. Hasn't been indicated just yet where that is going. But obviously a couple different points in the race that the judges would like to take a look at.
Fine-looking son of control at the moment. A nice dark coat to him, and not lathered up or anything here. An unstressed victory for Crazy World. Just looking for a sign to go official here in this final.
Exactly that. So making the slow walk back to the winner's circle. And just listening to track announcer Gary Guy. They were just looking at the first turn. So that'll be it. The inquiry sign's going to come down, and Crazy World will stand as your winner in this Prospect Series final. And as mentioned, gets the 9th career score and gets the job done for the locals here. John and Kathy Chakeen as we were talking about the fact they go down as the track record holders all time here with Desperate Man, and on closing night of the 2023 season, they take a Prospect Series final.
Such a handsome animal, well-behaved here as the spoils of victory gets laid over this one. Congratulations to the connection. Congratulations to all winners and participants in these Prospect Series finals this evening.
So there you see Kathy Jakeen and John Jakeen now taking the lines as they'll make the happy walk back to the paddock, and Garrett Rooney is going to slide on over, and he'll be our final guest with Robert Reed Jr. down in the winner's circle. We'll head down there in just a moment as we get set to wrap up our coverage of the Prospect Series final. Still one more race to go here on this evening at Grand River Raceway. Head to their website where you can find the live stream if you are following along, and maybe you're live in those multi-leg wagers. Let's go back down to the winner's circle. Here's Robert Reed.
Right, I'm here in the winner's circle with Garrett Rooney, winner of the final of the OSS Prospect Series tonight, the Glamour Boy division aboard Crazy World. And in watching that race, you're going behind the gate. As a 1-5 favorite, you're trying to get him out of there, and some anxious moments in the first turn.
Yeah, I was worried when I didn't make front, and then Lauren's horse made a break, and it really made things difficult from there.
And how close did I get out there?
It was close enough. Wouldn't need to be any closer.
And Crazy World, a horse that's shown all kinds of versatility in the year, but the front end is certainly his favorite place to be. Was it just got caught a little bit flat-footed off the gate tonight?
Yeah, sometimes he's a little tough to steer, so if he doesn't quite get off the gate right, or someone beats him away like Lauren horse did, it's just tough to get him around. He's not the best steer.
And you've had some great success over this surface this season, but you're on the verge of another career season. Last year, you did fantastic numbers, but right now you're on track to beat those. What do you attribute the success to?
Just good horses and good trainers and the people keeping me down.
And it's got to feel good too, right? Your wins with Desperate Man over the surface, final year of the half mile.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a highlight for this year for sure.
Right, Garrett Rooney, winning driver of Crazy World in the final OSS Prospect Series final of the evening.
All right, great to hear there from Garrett Rooney as he'll soak up the success of that victory here in the Prospect Series final with Crazy World. No show wagering offered in this one as Crazy World, the heavy favorite, delivers, paying $250, $210. The four delightful leader, $440 to place. And then you look at the exacta, $790, dollar try, $14.80, dollar super, $41. So there the price is for our final race of coverage tonight on Cosa-Tv. We're going to take one final timeout. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the Prospect Series finals from Grand River.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Danson Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
All right, and welcome back inside the grandstand here at Grand River Raceway. My name is Mark McKelvey. To my left is Shannon Sugar Doyle and Greg Blanchard. We've heard from him for the final time down in the paddock. Great job there catching up with the various connections, and a big shout out to Robert Reed Jr., who was handling things down in the winner's circle. All right, but before we wrap things up, a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, last chance to leave a comment if you'd like to be entered in the draw to win an Ontario Sire Stakes sweatshirt. Just leave a comment. Let us know what was your highlight of the night, and I'll pose the same question to you, Sugar. What stood out for you?
The win by Yoda Queen and the Who Rocket. Andy Moore, you know what? Unbeaten on the lead every time I've seen her, and she was just large tonight.
She certainly was. A lot of big-time performances here. A real fun evening of racing as the Prospect Series finals, although still in their infancy, are continuing to progress, and I think with each passing year, it's just going to continue to grow. It was a pleasure to bring you this coverage here tonight, and our coverage of the year-end championships in the Ontario Sire Stakes will continue this Saturday night from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Sugar, he'll be up in the announcer's booth, but the entire team will have you covered on Cosa-Tv for those OSS Grassroots Championships, 8 finals in total.
You got some OHL hockey to take care of?
I do. The hockey season is ramping up this weekend, so I won't be there, but I'll be back on October 14th for the OSS Super Finals. Again, 8 championships, although this year split up over 2 nights. We'll have coverage on October 14th of the 4 finals for the 3-year-olds, and then we'll wrap up our Cosa-Tv coverage for 2023 at Western Fair with the Christmas Drivers Challenge. Always looking forward to that. A fun afternoon. All right, on behalf of Sugar Doyle, Greg Blanchard, and the entire team behind the scenes here at Cosa-Tv, my name is Mark McKelvey. Thanks so much for joining us on this Wednesday night. We'll talk to you again on Saturday for the OSS Grassroots Championships.